took all my stuff in there. Okay, fine. We're continuing the same path that yes, we're gonna make these picks. Well, this guy calls a second meeting. We call in there and okay, everybody agrees we're gonna make these picks. Well, they called the third meeting the next week. And we're walking in there, I mean, we're getting real close to doing all this shit, you know. And there's 4 of us in this meeting. And it's Mel Stelmeyer, Ernie Williams, this guy from Texas, and me. And Mel himself, Ernie didn't even come ask me. Mel come over and says, need you to bring all your charts, everything. He said, we got to have another meeting. I said, Mel, he said, if you would just come over here, we got to have this meeting. Well, we're sitting in this meeting, and Ernie Williams, he's the general foreman. He's the guy under the main superintendent of the project. So everything's bearing on his shoulders. And we're sitting there and we're having this conversation and we're running through the numbers. And Ernie just stood up and he says, hey, I got a lot of shit I need to be doing. He said, Gary, can you make this pick? I told him, I said, Ernie, we can make this pick and we got room to spare. He said, that's good enough for me, and he walked out. This guy from Texas, he stands up and he says, where's he going? He asked Mel, he says, where's he going? Where's that guy going? He says, well, you heard it. He asked Gary if he can make this pick. He said, yeah, and that's good enough for him. And that guy from Texas, he asked that main superintendent over the whole job, he says, was that good enough for you? He said, that's good enough for me. He said, Gary, we don't need you here no more. Walked out of the room, and we made that pick, and actually we had 3 of those picks, but anyway, we made those picks, and that guy from Texas, he come by, and he had this guy with him. He said, that was their computer expert. He said, on the charts, you couldn't do that. I said, what do you mean on the charts we couldn't do that? I mean, this guy from the computer, he said, you couldn't do that. He said, you couldn't, the computer said you couldn't swing 360. I said, you're right. I stepped back here and I swing 360 when I have to. I said, do you see how big I made my pad? I could scoot over and I only got to swing 1/4 and I could make that pick. The guy said, the computer guy said, I never thought of that. He shook my hand. He said, I want to shake your hand. He said, you outsmarted us. I said, I didn't outsmart you. That's what we do. That's what I do. That was the biggest compliment I ever had in my career.
That's not bad.
No, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was bad.
Because names travel that way.